It's hard to imagine that it's been more than half a century since 5 musicians playing on brass instruments created this country's best ever brass musical group. But it's true, the Canadian Brass actually got together 51 years ago. But given that COVID essentially wiped out their 50th anniversary celebration, they're doing it this year. They have graced our studio before, but given current COVID restrictions, we can't do it this time. But we are delighted to have 40% of the group with us tonight. And with that, we welcome from Lansing, Michigan, one of the original Canadian Brass members. There's tuba player Charles Dellenbach on the left and French hornist Jeff Nelson, who's been with the group for the past 13 years on the right. And gents, it's great to see you again. Charles, I got to start with you. Actually, I'm not going to call you Charles. I've known you 50 years. I'm calling you Chuck, which is what I always call you. Chuck, would you ever have imagined when you set this thing up 51 years ago that you'd still be doing this now?
Well, Mr. Paikin, what I found over the, you climb a small hill. It's such a cliche, but you climb a small hill and you see a bigger one in front of you and you climb that. And but I think we were the only musicians on the earth that thought we could find our way to Carnegie Hall by playing children's shows in the Hammer in Hamilton.
That's where it all started, isn't it? Hamilton, Ontario. Pretty cool. Yep. I want to bring up a picture of what the group looks like now, and I'll ask our director, Sheldon Osmond. There it is. Now, there you are, surrounded by 4 colleagues who, how do I put this delicately, are all about half your age. And I guess I want to know what the secret is to successfully regenerating the group as you go through the decades.
Well, I think the key is hiring your sons. Those are all my sons, the 4 boys. No, we decided early on not to simply replace ourselves with friends and old buddies, but to really look for the finest players, in the world. And consequently, it is a sustaining opportunity. The Canadian Brass hopefully could play for another 50 years. And I think that was our dream.
Jeff, what's the process a newbie has to go through in order to be brought into the group?
Well, thanks, Dad, for that answer. And it's a wild ride. I'm sure, you just go from 20 kilometers an hour to 8,000 instantly. So it's a big baptism of fire, but it's such a dream to be able to play with the group that you grow up revering. Shocking as a Canadian to be in the Canadian Brass, but you go with it, and a lot of small mountains and cliffs and oceans, and go one day at a time.
I want to know more about how it works, though. Did you obviously had to play an audition at some point, and then is it basically like a thumbs up or a thumbs down? You make it or you don't?
Yes, it was. Yeah. And actually, I do a lot of teaching as well. So I like sharing that I didn't originally get the position. 2 years prior, I auditioned and they went with someone else, and then things changed. And then I got the incredible call from Chuck saying, we have a really fast moving train here, wondering if you'd like to hop on. And I was about to play principal horn with the Vancouver Symphony, and I called and got my stuff sent to Toronto where I was. And from there, and then I think a week later, I was standing in front of Canadian Brass in Dallas, then a concert with the Spokane Symphony, and then 3 weeks of one-nighters all around Germany.
Wow.
So it happened quickly.
And you're a Manitoban originally, is that right?
Edmonton, Manitoba, yes.
Oh, you're Edmonton originally.
Yeah,
okay.
A farm just north of Edmonton.
Okay, well, that's not too far away as the crow flies from Manitoba, because the reason I ask is I'm trying to do a good segue, which I just blew, to the little piece of tape that I want to show right now, which is that I always thought that the Nutcracker had a very popular song in it called The Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, but apparently I was wrong. It's actually called The Dance of the Manitobans. I didn't realize Tchaikovsky wrote that, but apparently you guys are all over that. So Sheldon, shall we hear a bit of that? How's that for a segue? Roll it, please. beautiful, beautiful. Chuck, when did you guys put that together?
Well, in fact, this is one of the discoveries from the COVID era is we started recording ourselves and blending it together. And that's exactly what you saw. I think a lot of musicians had to face this same situation. And I like to tell people that I had the honor and luck of recording with RCA, Red Seal, Philips, Sony, and suddenly I'm in a small room twisting dials myself. It was quite a change, but as you can see, it's workable. And that was how we put it together.
But just so I understand the engineering of that, you didn't actually all play together in real time, is that right? You did your parts separately and then somebody put it together?
Exactly. We all had to become experts in logic. And for me, I had my son, who's very well versed in electronics, set it up for me. He set all the dials on the proper numbers, and then I took a picture of it so I could I could replicate it, and off we went. And each one of us had to figure that out.
Now, as we suggested in the intro, you guys had big plans for your 50th anniversary year, which obviously had to change because of COVID-19.
No, on the contrary. On
Really?
the contrary. Oh, absolutely. Our plan was, and this took, we were working on this for years. We had to get the whole world, the entire world, to come together to give us a year off as a benefit of the year. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. So.
I see. So you actually didn't have any concerts that you had to cancel or any of that kind of stuff because you were planning to take the whole year off.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Got it.
It was a beautiful thing.
I knew I was in trouble at the beginning of this, and clearly that is coming to fruition. Well, okay, Jeff, I want to give our viewers and listeners a sense, Jeff, of how it actually works for you guys, because your main gig is to teach horn at Indiana University. Go Hoosiers! But you're also in the Canadian Brass. You play in Broadway shows. You've toured with singers. You play on movie soundtracks. You've played with orchestras all over the world. How does your life work exactly?
Finger quote work. It's a lot of scheduling. I'm learning a lot about keeping lots of lists. I set a lot of alarms. And then I usually am on my horn after my two sons are asleep. So that goes up till midnight. Over the years, I guess, as it's continued, I think I get to say no to better and better things.
Is that the offers just come and you get to be a little pickier at this stage of the game? Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I can handle the hardships of saying no to the Chicago Symphony because you're busy on tour or what. It's a dream. I don't pinch myself. I grew up on a pig farm 10 miles north of Edmonton. I share it a lot that it's how much do you want it, and you go for it and pick your priorities and balance it well. Came a time where I had to choose. There could have been a few things that I could do, but if I spent, those hours of the day on 5 things, they'd get this good. But if I chose one thing, then it could get this good. That's, I think, how I first did horn. I was just performing horn until I got the Indiana University gig 15 years ago. So at first I had to leave the brass to have kids and do family things. And then I realized the horn player that replaced me was going to leave the group. And Chuck asked me if I could play a few gigs with the group. And then we looked at the schedule, and there's no school during the Christmas month. So I can do the Christmas tour. And then I ended up coming back full time, and boom, it happened, trying to figure it all out.
There you go. Chuck, you are, or I guess we've got you in the middle of a U.S. tour right now, which not only has taken you around that country, but I gather you're going to Germany next month as well for some concerts. And I've got to ask, why, again, don't take this the wrong way, but why does a guy of your experience, let's put it that way, want to keep touring as much as you do? I know it's a slog.
It's actually... It couldn't be luckier. I mean, basically, a musician, an actor, a host of a very famous show in Canada. Why do we all do this? Because we love it. And it's just an honor to be able to do it. And the fact that audiences stick with us. What I love is after a concert, meeting people that say, oh, I heard you when I was in grade school. I heard you when I was in college. And now I'm bringing my kids or even maybe my grandkids. And you realize that there is something really special and has an element of continuity. So You just I guess you do things as long as you are enjoying it, as long as it's fun. I think once the pleasure and fun were to run out, if that were to ever happen, then it would be too hard. There's too much travel. There's too much of the in-between. But when you're standing on stage in front of 2,000 people and they're cheering, and even if it's for the trumpet, I don't care. I take it anyway. It's just fantastic. It's just fantastic.
Well, let me break the news to you. They're cheering for you too, my friend, as we shall see in the Tuba Tiger Rag in Budapest. Sheldon, roll it, please. Man, look at that, look at that. Now, I realize you're wearing a nice, comfortable pair of shoes there, so that must make it easier, but that looks really hard to play, even if you were in your 20s or 30s, which you're not anymore. How do you still do that, I guess, is the question.
Well, it's not hard to do, but it needs to be taught. I actually have a PhD from the Eastman School, and the last 4 years of my studies was you have to know 2 languages, German, French, and how to make the tuba roar. So that was my concentration. Oh, and I got a little story for you. We did a camp just north of Toronto. It's a summer camp in August. They bring up the school kids to get a head start on the fall. And I was asked to do a workshop. And it was beautiful. We had a pier out into the water. So I assembled all of the tuba players and I taught them how to do that tuba roar, which is the tuba has to go from the left to the right. You don't want to go from the right to the left. It's got to go left to the right. And I was teaching that on the pier, and the head of the camp ran down and told me that, no, this is a serious camp and you're not to do that.
So much for that, eh?
Yeah, that was the end of the tuba roar.
Are you really? I have heard this before, and I want to do my due diligence here and confirm it. Are you really the most recorded tuba player in the history of the world?
Well, what kind of era are we in news these days? Do you have to tell the truth, or could I?
There's no fake news on this show.
Oh, in that case, I think I'm the most recorded tuba player, definitely in an ensemble or solo situation. There might be some orchestra musician somewhere that plays for Naxos, the way they make too many recordings. But as far as we know, I am the most recorded tuba player in the history of sound.
And 7,000 performances to boot.
Right.
That's pretty amazing. Now, one of the things I also found out, you guys did the Johnny Carson show. When did that happen, and how was that experience?
It was amazing. We got to stand. If you can remember the very colorful curtain they had, Johnny Carson, they'd pull the curtain up and there's Johnny Carson. Well, because I'm in the middle of the group, I was standing on the inlaid brass star on the floor where Johnny stands behind the curtain. And it was an amazing moment. The curtain goes up and there you are in live TV. And at that time he was attracting, big numbers. I don't know if it's in the 20 million range, but it was a fascinating opportunity. And we got to meet Doc Severinsen at that time, which resulted, by the way, in something maybe even more fun for your general listening audience, is because we met Doc Severinsen, roll the clock forward, 1991, I believe. There was a all-star baseball game out in Los Angeles area, and they asked Doc to do the Star Spangled Banner in O Canada. And he said, I ain't doing O Canada without the Canadian brass. So there we were on the podium with Doc Severinsen playing the national anthems. So you just don't know where things lead. It's just, and I think that's even one of your very first questions. You just never know what's going to come together in something more fascinating. And that's one of the big draws of touring and going out and meeting people, is just finding out all the the myriad, I guess, a plethora of opportunities that are out there for these kind of things to come together.
But here's the smart aleck follow-up question. Is Doc Severinsen a good enough trumpet player to play in the Canadian Brass?
He is one of the most amazing trumpet players ever. And he's, by the way, he's probably the loudest trumpet player that's ever existed. And here he is, he's in his early 90s.
Yeah.
And he's playing like he did when he was on the Carson show. I mean, he's just an amazing performer and amazing player.
Great. Jeff, part of my job is to look for trouble. So here comes that question. What happens when you guys don't get along? There must be artistic differences or disagreements about what you play or what you don't play or how you play it. How do you resolve all that?
Sometimes with coffee, sometimes with ice cream. We have one rule in the group that I came into really quick, is that if you can't get one other person to go with your idea, you have to let go of the idea. And that's just kind of a sanity rule. You're going to drive yourself crazy if your ideas are just unique for unique sake, or whatever it is that won't work with a group of five, you know. But yeah, I love the idea. Chuck explains kind of our repertoire choices and how those work. And it's the two concentric circles. One is of music that an audience likes, and then the other one is the music that we love. And then the overlap is where we live. And it's just, that's the dream. You know, I played in orchestras for years and years and never got to pick what rep we were playing. And so that's one of the dream things with chamber music. We can pick the music. And so there's lots of discussions there of what we're playing. So it has to be at least agreed by one other person.
Chuck, how often do you have to pull out the I'm the original member of this group card and I'm going to break the tie the way I want to break the tie?
I think that comes up now and then, but it's something I've really tried to avoid. My challenge was to still feel like a colleague and not a boss. Because in music, you don't want people to defer to you just because you have the authority, because you could be way off, or I could be learning new things. And especially with these younger players, every day I'm finding interesting things that I hadn't thought about myself. So I think one of the reasons a lot of ensembles do break up is people don't take that attitude. They say, look, I've got the experience, you're going to listen to me. And I've tried to do it the opposite, which is I'm here to figure out, you know, what can we do differently, and how can we, especially in this era when people are predicting maybe even the end of classical music, which I've read in a couple places, it really is important to stay current and maybe ahead of current to figure out what's next.
Well, to that end, one of the things that you've just, sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
I just wholeheartedly agree. Yes, sir. Sir, 3 bags full. Yes, Chuck.
Okay.
Yes.
You're on the concert then. You're okay, Jeff. You're on the concert tonight. That's good. That's good.
Whatever you say.
And they wonder why they call you guys the Marx Brothers of brass players. Okay, I get it. I get it. I guess to that end of trying to stay current and trying to do new things, I think you guys have put out about 70 albums over the course of the 50 years that you've been playing.
Exactly. 130. That's right.
130?
Yes.
No kidding.
Somewhere.
Holy smokes. That's a lot. But you've got a new one out now called Canadiana, which, and what a beautiful cover that is. I don't know if those are supposed to be the Northern Lights, but that's what I thought of when I saw it.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good. I got one thing right today. That's great. I presume it is always increasingly challenging to find new things to say musically, especially after 130 albums. So, Chuck, what are you trying to say with this one that you haven't said before?
Well, there were several things involved in this. One was we have formed a strong relationship with a Canadian company with Jeff Kulovic and the Linus label. And Linus is the holder now of the incredible catalog of the Gordon Lightfoot and all those great songs. And we came up with an idea between us of covers, in a sense, covers of famous Canadian songs or songwriters that accompanied our 50 years. So the album that we created goes from Joni Mitchell right up to Drake and Deadmau5. And the idea was to give it a different twist, a different turn, but what we feel is a valid recasting of these wonderful songs that we grew up with, in a sense.
Jeff, what do you like about it?
That it's completely made up of Canadian music. So very proud and excited to play those things with beautifully, richly arranged versions, all done by Brandon Ridenauer, one of our trumpet players. And one of my favorite things is Both Sides Now, Joni Mitchell. She has an album that came out in 2000. She redid a lot of her songs with the London Symphony, and it's my favorite album. And one day I went and bought it and gave it to my mother. And I said, this is my favorite album, check it out. And she says, oh, wow, I sang that when I was pregnant with you. And so there's all these Both Sides Now things going, on both sides. Anyway, it's beautiful music and all Canadian music.
Well, I think it probably makes sense to let the music have the last word today. So let's do one more clip here. Here's The Flight of the Bumblebee, which is classic. Sheldon, go.
Sweet. Sweet.
That is so good and so creative and so hard to play, and I don't know how you guys do it, but I sure hope you keep going for another 50 years because you guys are just the best, and you are such fantastic ambassadors for this country around the world. And can I just say how much fun it's been to have 40% of the Canadian brass on our program tonight. Chuck Dellenbach and Jeff Nelson, enjoy the tour, guys. Safe travels, and see you again down the road, I hope.
Great.
Thanks, Steve.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is made possible through generous philanthropic contributions from viewers like you. Thank you for supporting TVO's journalism.